What's up, everybody? I'm back with another video, CR Sports Analysis. And today, we got a video for you today with the NBA props, predictions, and what my lean is. Definition of lean would be, what I would be leaning towards, but not picking. I'm gonna show you that today. Before we get into that video, I'm gonna show you my recap from yesterday, right here on the right side of your screen. Now in the middle, you see Milwaukee, Philadelphia came through. Memphis at Miami, it came through as well. Minnesota at Brooklyn, Minnesota came through. Julius Randle 10 for 15. He got 10, but he did not get 15. Golden State at LA, we almost swept that game as well. We would have swept everything today, but Luka Doncic ended with 19 points. I actually had him on a parlay. It pretty sucked to lose because of by 1 point when Luka is very capable of getting 20. But that is my recap. Follow me on IG at cr.bets underscore. If you're watching this video and you have picks that um, as well, DM me your picks or comment your picks in the comment section. But let's get into the video. There is a big slate today. It's a lot of games on. These are just the games that I picked and what I have. So just letting you take a quick look if you want to take a screenshot. But let's get started, man. New Orleans at Lakers. I picked Lakers money line, obviously. LeBron 15 to 20 points, 4 to 6 rebounds. Luka 15 to 20 points. Austin Reaves 4 assists. Obviously, I picked Lakers money line. They're 8-2 against them head to head. New Orleans 7-31 in their this season in away games. Lakers 29-10 at home. We did have LeBron. We had Austin Reaves for 4 assists. As we see his line, 4.5. You can find some good value on him at 4. Head to head, he said this line is 7 out of 11 games this season. His past 30 games, he did this in 22 of his past 30 and 50 out of 68 this season. But what we do like is at home this season, he's never gone more than 2 games without getting 4 assists. So we like Austin Reaves for 4 assists. Points wise, LeBron James go over here head to head. He's never dropped below 20 points against the Pelicans. If you don't want to sweat, because you see it's 20, 21, 21, 21. If you don't want to sweat, take LeBron for 15, pretty much guaranteed today. Cash this in 61 out of 65 games this year. 15 to 20 for LeBron. Same thing with Luka. I actually do like Luka 15 because he did sell yesterday for 20. But these are his stats at 20. As you can see, last time he got 19. He ended up with 21 the next game. He's probably going to end with over 20 today. But we don't want to sweat. Take Luka down to 15. Throw him on a parlay with that whole Lakers, section. Throw that on a parlay and you should have plus money. $10 to win 10, $50 to win 50. Those are just the best that I like to do. And if I want to parlay most of these together, I will with my favorites. But I mainly just do it per game. I might combine these 2 games, or I might make this game alone, or I might put all 3 of these games on one slip. But next game we're looking at is Denver at Golden State. I'm not really sure who to get into the money line for that game, but we do know that Denver is 9-1 against Golden State in the last 10 games, 6-4 against the spread. I'm thinking Golden State can get to them today. To be honest, they just came off a win against the Lakers and Memphis. They're on a 4-game winning streak, while the Denver, they just lost to San Antonio and Minnesota. They're on a 2-game losing streak. Injury-wise, Jokic is questionable to play, so if Jokic does not play, I'll probably be taking Golden State. But for that game, we had Jokic 15 to 20 if he does play, 8 to 10 rebounds. Steph Curry 15 to 20 points, and Michael Porter Jr. 10 points. Pretty self-explanatory picks. Michael Jordan Jr. His line is at 16.5, so 15 will be great value, but I did like 10 points because 10 points is very reasonable. He's probably going to hit like two threes, um, get him up to six. He get two buckets, go to the line two times. That's easy for him. He set this line in 35 out of 37 games this year. We also like Jokic for 20 plus, really, but I say 15 to 20 if you don't want to sweat. I like him for 20 because he's gone over this line in every single game against Golden State since 2021. This season, he's gone over this line in 27 out of his last 30 games and 58 out of 65 this season. If you look at in away games, though, however, on a Friday, every single game away on a Friday, he's went over. And just on a Friday, in his past 13 games on a Friday, he's went over 12 out of 13 times. Versus Western Conference teams, 6 out of 7, 25 out of 30. If we look at him away, like I said, he's 100% away on a Friday. In his last 28 games away on a Friday, he's went over 27 out of 28 times, getting 20 points. We also like him for 8 to 10 rebounds. The reason why I love him for 8 rebounds today is because he's gone over this every single game versus Golden State. And also, if you check out this season on a Friday, he's never went back to back under. He's always had one game where he went over when he had 14. He's went over every time he's had 12. He's gone over except these couple games right here. If you look at him versus Western Conference teams on a Friday, and if you look at just Western Conference teams, period, what I love is he's hit this line in 32 out of 38 games this year. 24 is past 30 against Western Conference teams. Look at him with a 2-day rest. 6 out of 7 games this year, 28 out of past 30. We do like Jokic for 8 to 10 rebounds. And we also had Steph Curry, 15 to 20 points. Now, Steph Curry is a pretty good player. I do think he's going over 20 points today. I would want to take him 15 to be safe. These are his stats head-to-head versus Denver. As you see, he's dropping 20 on the dot. Like I said, if I don't really want to sweat, Curry 15 pretty much guaranteed for Steph Curry. You love to watch him play. He's hit this line in 24 out of his past 30 games at home this year. Pretty easy for Steph Curry. The next we have Utah at Indiana. Supposed to be a pretty high scoring game. A lot of these games today, you're going to have good player props that are going to go over. For example, Utah Pacers total 238. Phoenix Boston 227. Cleveland San Antonio have a 241 spread. OKC Houston 228. Portland Chicago 235. Denver Golden State 235. New Orleans Lakers 221, a little bit lower. And then Dallas at the Clippers 226 is their totals for today. So you have a pretty high total, man. I took Pacers in this game because they're 26 and 10 at home, while Utah's 7-31 on the road. Injury wise, Utah's pretty banged up. I don't really have too many picks for that game. Let me see what I had. Keontae George, 4 assists. I did have Keontae George for 4 assists in that game. As we see right here, his line is at 4.5. He has not played. Let's see. Okay, he had 0 yesterday. Well, no, 0 2 days ago. Yeah. But this season, he's never gone more than 3 games without getting 4.5 assists with his normal line. So if you want to take his normal line, I would. But I would also take 4 assists. If you want to keep alternate down, you can. He's gone over in 3 of 3 games. He had 11 assists against the Pacers February 3rd. He's hit this line in 50 out of 62 games and cashed it in his last 24 out of 30 games. If you look at him away this season, and if you look at him away versus Eastern Conference teams this season, and then just Eastern Conference teams, that's him at 4. So if you want to go over 2.5 on a parlay Keontae George, you can. He's never went back-to-back games this season without getting 3 assists. So 3, 4, and 5 assists, you can alt each one. I pretty much like each one. 2.5, 3.5, and 4.5. Cleveland at San Antonio. Jared Allen, 10 points, 6 to 8 rebounds. DeAndre Hunter, 10 points, and I had Cleveland money line. The reason why I had Cleveland money line is it's a -13 spread. Cleveland are 8-2 in their last 10 against San Antonio. I think Cleveland still is the team that they are. They come out with a victory. Hopefully, these teams aren't playing soft today because the playoffs is coming up. But if they are, we'll know for sure that these props probably won't come in. You know, the higher props. That's why we only taking 10 to 15 points for these guys. Um, Jared Allen has gone over 15 points in every game against San Antonio. First of all, 10 points this season for Jared Allen against Western Conference teams. He's gotten 10 points in 23 out of his past 28 versus Western Conference teams. If we check him out on a Friday, let's see. On a Friday this year, he's cashed his line in 22 out of his past 30 Friday games, not just this year. This year on a Friday, he's cashed 12 of 17 games. If we look at Friday versus Western Conference teams, 4 out of 5 this year, 13 out of 17, never going back-to-back games on a Friday versus a Western Conference team without getting 10 points. We love that trend. 1 day rest. He's pretty good. 33 out of 34 games this year with a 1 day rest. 24 out of his past 30. Yeah, man, I pretty much do like Jared Allen because as we see in his last 30 games, he's never went back-to-back games without getting 10 points. And this season, actually, he's never gone back-to-back games without getting 10 points. We also like him for 8 to 10 rebounds. Or actually, no, it was 6 to 8. 6 to 8 rebounds for him. This is him at 8. And then if we look at 6, I really, really love 6 because he's never went back-to-back games away this season without getting 6 rebounds. So we love him for that. Jared Allen, 10 points, 6 rebounds. I do love it. Hunter, 10 points. Let's go over to Hunter real quick. DeAndre Hunter's line is at 14.5. It was just at 11.5. So maybe under 14.5. But I wouldn't really want to do that. I don't like going under on players, especially that they're in the NBA. But he's gone over this line in every single game he's played against San Antonio since 2022. This season, he's gotten 27, 22, and 14 against them, scoring 14 with the Cavs. If you look at in away games this season, he's cashed this line in 29 out of 35 games. We do like Hunter for 10, Cleveland money line. Okay, so we went over these games right here. Next, we're looking at OKC at Houston. OKC at Houston. I couldn't really get to a money line in that game. If I wanted to, I would go with OKC, but we see OKC's won 2 games, and Rockets won the next. So we might be a little skeptical about that game, thinking OKC is, keeping their team healthy for the playoffs. Houston's probably going to come in swinging. For that game, though, Jalen Williams, 15 points. We like Jalen Williams for 15 because on a Friday this season, he's cashed 9 out of 11 games. If you look at versus Western Conference teams, this is his stats this season. Western Conference teams on a Friday this season. If we just look at Western Conference teams in away games, he's cashed this in 17 out of 19 games and 26 of his past 30 games away versus Western Conference teams. And he's never went back-to-back games without getting 15. No, excuse me. He's never gone just one game in a row where he's went over 15 and went under the next. As we see, one green candlestick, red. And then there was never that again for the rest of the season versus Western Conference teams, as we see. So, Jalen Williams, 15 points today. I do like him. Hartenstein, 6 to 8 rebounds. It's funny because the Hartenstein pick yesterday, the rebounds, he had like 2 rebounds in the third quarter. Ended up getting like 8 or 9, man. I wasn't sure what was up with that game. Hartenstein did not start. Chet Holmgren did start. So if you want to take Chet rebounds over Hartenstein, you can. I just like Hartenstein because he's a better rebounder, in my opinion. The reason why I chose 6 because he's never went back-to-back games without getting 6 versus Houston. And also on the season, he's cashed this in 49 out of 55 games. In his past 30 games, he's cashed this in 25 of his past 30. If you look at away, this season has gone up to 28 out of 29 away games. So we do like Hartenstein for 6, bump him up to 8 for value. SGA 20 to 25 points, pretty self-explanatory. And Lou Dort, 1 assist. I'd like him for 1 assist because he's cashed this in 13 out of 14 games against Houston. And in his past 30 games, he's never went, just one single game where he had 1 assist and didn't get it the next game. So we do like that for his past 30. And it's been like that all season except the one time. So I'd rather bet against that one time this season that he didn't get an assist that next game after having won the previous game. So I do like Dort for 1. And then we did say SGA for 20 to 25. His line is at 32.5. These are his stats for 25 points against Houston, cashing in 11 of his past 15 games against Houston, 66 out of 74 games this year. And he's only gotten less than 20 points one time this season all year. So, like I said, pretty self-explanatory. He's probably going to keep getting 20 points until he gets hurt, probably. That's what I have for that game. OKC at Houston. Phoenix at Boston. Boston money line. They're at home. Phoenix, bottom of the barrel team now. Spread -14. 6-4 head to head. 4-6 against the spread. 24-13 at home for Boston. 12-26 away for Phoenix. So it's pretty easy to go Boston money line, especially if Jaylen Brown does play, which he is questionable. But if Jaylen Brown does play, I do like him for 15 points today. If Jaylen Brown is playing, because he's gotten over 20 points every single game against Phoenix since 2021. We take Jaylen Brown out for 15 points. He's cashed this in 49 out of 60 games this season and 24 of his past 30. Look at him at home. This season, he's cashed 29 out of 32 games, and he never had just one single green candlestick, as you can see. That is another trend that I like to do. Whenever it's just been one game, and we know that after that first game of going green, he went over the next. First game of going green, over the next. First game, over the next. We do like him for 15 if he does play today. As you can see, the Q right here is questionable. We got Porzingis 15 to 20 and Jason Tatum 15 to 20. Let's talk about Porzingis. His line is at 20.5. You can find good value for him at 20, but these are his stats at 20. I wouldn't take him for 20 though because he's only cashed this in 10 out of his past 30 games. Like I said, we like to be conservative. So we do like Kristaps Porzingis for 15 points. And the same thing applies for him as well. He's never won one single game this year, with the game before and the game after where he didn't get 15. As you see, the game before, game after he got 15, and the game after that he always gotten 15 the rest of the season. We do like him for 15 today. And Tatum, his line is at 25.5. He gotten 20 points over every single game against Phoenix since 2021. These are his stats in his last 30 games for 20, so you can take him for 20 today. I do like it. He's only gone one time this season where he's went back-to-back games without getting 20 points. You can alt it down to 18.5 to where he's never went back-to-back games this season without getting 18 and a half points, which is a crazy stat line. Or you can take him for 15. 15 to 20 for Tatum. That's what I like to do too, though. That's why I say 15 to 20 points, because you can ultimate like 16 and a half, and then you get better value. But that's what I have for that game. Last game I have the day, which is the first game on the slate. To be honest, Sacramento at Charlotte. We went Sacramento money lines. Charlotte is a terrible team. I am from Charlotte, so I would know. Um, Bridges for 15, Mark Williams for 8, Jonas Valanciunas for 4 rebounds. Let's see. You could go Sabonis in that game. To be honest, I didn't really want to get into too much of this game, so I just picked players that I knew would get this. Jonas, his line is at 4.5. We took him for 3.5 yesterday. He's cash, so I would take him for 3.5 again. He's never went one single game this season without getting 4 rebounds, where he didn't get the next game. We also like Miles Bridges, 15 points. Fun fact about Miles Bridges: in his past 4 games against Sacramento, he's gone over 20 points. We just look at him for 15 this season at home. He's cashed this in 24 out of his past 28 games this season at home. If we look at him without LaMelo Ball, he's cashed this in every single game this season at home without LaMelo Ball. And we also have Mark Williams. I believe, what did I take Mark Williams for? 8 rebounds. 8 rebounds for Mark Williams. His line is at 9.5. He's actually never played Sacramento, but he's cashed this in 26 of his past 30 games and 33 out of 41 that he's played this season. We see the beginning of this season he was on minute restriction, so we bump his usage up to 13% because that's his lowest in the past 10 games, and his lowest minutes to 22 because this has been his lowest in the past 10 games. Go up there. As we see, he's cashing in 29 out of his past 32 games this season. We look at him at home, 13 out of 15%. 13 out of 15 games, excuse me. We look at versus Western Conference teams. This season, he's gone over every single game. So that's why we love Mark Williams for 8 rebounds today, going over in every single game versus Western Conference teams. That seems to be it, man. That really seems to be it. That's all I have for today. Like, comment, subscribe, follow my Instagram at cr.bets. You're welcome to DM me with any questions. Comment down on this video below if you have any, questions as well. But yeah, man, I hope you have a blessed day. I hope your picks come through today. And peace.